Hello and welcome to ZenAF Podcast. You know why you're here. We sometimes don't know why we're here. I don't know. That was a very strange opening. You can find us at zenafpod.com. You can find us on all the platforms. And we are here for your lusting eardrum tubes. You can listen to us. Hi, Wayne.
Hey, pal. I'm here because my mother repeatedly told me through the growth stages of my life that, Wayne, you were funny and you were talented. And one day there will be this technology where you can go onto this computer and go to the cosmos, that's a word, of the earth
Okay.
and entertain the people through what will be called internet radio.
And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We are both on this thing right now. And Wayne and I met through a platform called TikTok. I don't know if you know that, but that
Mhm.
happened
Mhm.
a little bit over a year ago, actually. We have our year anniversary coming up. We actually uploaded our first podcast August 19th of 2021. And we're just still trucking along, loving each other, giving each other googly eyes, although you can't see it.
This is episode 51, so we're one episode. See, we thought episode 50 was a big deal because it was an even number, and that's just the way society has brought us up. Nope. But really there's 52 weeks in the year. So we're 1 week
There's
away
56.
from there's not
There's
56 weeks in a year. There's 52 decks and a
There's
cards in a
56
deck.
weeks in a year. There's 56. Yeah.
52 is the deck of cards.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
don't know how you confuse those, but
I
yeah.
legit confused a the amount of cards in a deck and how many I've been on this whole thing, and nobody's corrected me until right now. Everybody's like, "Good for you, you made it 52 weeks." I don't know what the fuck he's
There's 56 weeks in a year, everyone. That's not just science, that's just a fact on my calendar.
talking. I should have known
Um,
that.
yeah, I thought you did, but I guess, we learn things about each other as we go, you know?
I don't know. This math isn't adding up, man, and I wish I was lying to you.
Well, there's 12 months in a year. There's
Uh-huh.
4 weeks in a month, right?
Uh-huh. 4
12
times
months. There's 12 months in a year. There's
4
4
times
weeks in
10
each month.
is 40.
40. Uh-huh.
Then there's 2 more months. That's
8. But
48.
but but
48 weeks.
there's 56
No, there's
weeks in a year.
52 fucking weeks in a year.
Hold on a second, everybody. We have to get down to this. I want to get on with the show, but how
How
many
many weeks?
weeks
I'm looking at
in a year?
Canadian
Here we
Google though.
go. And the answer
Weeks.
is 52.1. Wayne was right. I fucked up. Okay.
Oh,
So here we go.
oh, no, wait.
I'm only gonna admit this once.
No, that's fine.
You
But
were right.
before I get that I
I
was
was
right,
wrong.
but I get that I was right and you were wrong. But you're so powerful in my mind that I was like reconsidering it. But I
Well,
just
the
want to,
funny thing
but
is,
I want to know how you were going to convince me on your because we started doing the math and I saw your face go, oh shit, my math's not adding up.
well, so here's the thing. So I was very cued into 56 weeks in a year. And I think my father actually told me there was 56 weeks in a year, but he lied about everything in my life. So here we are. Listen, so there's 52 weeks in a year. Wayne was right. Alex Scooby was wrong. I'm gonna go ahead and give it there. I'm not gonna my ego. I'm putting my ego down. My pride is now right in my toes, and we're just gonna stay here. So hey, I wanted to talk to you about something. So I watched probably the one of the most hideous documentaries ever. It was called it's called The Most Hated Man on the Internet, and it was about a guy named Hunter Moore. Have you heard of this?
No.
Okay, so The Most Hated Man on the Internet. It's about this guy named Hunter Moore. He was a young kid. He was probably like 24, I think, when he started this platform called isanyoneUp.com. And it was basically a revenge porn website where he would take these photos of nude women and post them to the site and say that he was fucking them or whatever. And meanwhile, these people were didn't even know. The majority of the people didn't even know their pictures were up on this site. So, but not only would he put their picture up, but he would put a link to their Facebook accounts, their personal Facebook accounts. So these women were getting fucking you slut, you're a whore, you're disgusting, all this stuff. And they're like, what the fuck is going on? Come to find out, his buddy was a professional hacker. So he was hacking into these girls' personal laptop email, like email addresses, and stealing like pics they'd take of themselves when they were in their alone in their room. And they'd have them on their personal laptop just for whatever. I mean, we've all taken nude pics of ourselves at some point, right? Not for public consumption, just for whatever reason. Anyway, this hacker dude was stealing these pics. These unsuspected women had no idea what the fuck was going on. This turd named Hunter Moore, and I mean deplorable piece of shit, was put. Now, meanwhile, these women would find out through friends or whoever that their nude pics were up on this website, and they would beg him to take down the pictures, beg him. And he'd just be like, fuck you. I could do whatever I fucking want. There was no rules, there was no law regulating the internet at that point, regulating what was to go up on websites and all that stuff. The only thing they could get him on was hacking. So they had to prove it. Anyway, if you haven't seen this documentary, it's fucking appalling. It's called The Most Hated Man on the Internet, about this scumbag named Hunter Moore.
That's
You
insane.
gotta,
That's
yeah, it's disgusting.
insane. And you think
It's
about,
almost like rape in a way. It's weird. It's
well, I
weird.
think any kind of sexual exploitation
Mhm.
against somebody's will should be, like with murder, they have degrees of, and I think they have degrees of sexual assault for sure, but they have
Yeah.
degrees of murder. But I think they need to find a way, and they might now, but there needs to be a law around sexual exploitation within, like, even if you're dating somebody and you break up and they have shared pictures with you, those pictures were shared to you in confidence. And I know people will come out and
Mhm.
say, oh, well, if you're going to put it out on the internet. No, there's a level
Yeah.
of respect that for humanity where if you're going to share that with somebody, um, don't exploit them that way when the relationship doesn't go your way, because you don't know the destruction that you might do to you might be somebody who has created so much confidence in a human being where they felt comfortable enough to send you a picture of themselves, and for you to
Mhm.
exploit them that way when they damage your mood, which is cool because I want to talk about something in a bit. I think that's just deplorable and disgusting. Yeah.
So I want to say this. This is interesting. You're saying that right now. Talk about damaging people's lives. Almost every single one of those women that were put up on this site, their lives were forever fucking damaged. One woman who's a kindergarten teacher lost her job, got fired immediately. She went to fucking get her master's degree, all this stuff, and then computer gets hacked. A nude pic she took of herself in private winds up on this website. Another girl who was here in Studio City, California, which basically I live a town away from.
Right.
She was an aspiring actress, all this stuff. All of a sudden, she's up on porn sites, and it's like, but a lot of women got destroyed, dude. Like
Man.
destroyed.
Ah, that's sad. And
Yeah,
with all the shit that we have going on, listen, I want to talk to you about something.
yeah.
So I've been on this big kick on my social media talking about walking away from people that don't serve you. Walking away from
Hmm.
people or even things, like leaving things that don't serve you anymore. If it brings you to a place where you've worked hard to get out of, like mindset wise, um, you need to walk away from it. And it happened to me the other day. A couple weeks ago, it happened originally. Yeah, I've been friends with somebody, and this is a moral conversation to have as well. So I have very close friends of mine, right? There's a whole group of them that they're all family, right? And one of the spouses of this person is known throughout all of them as just a horribly mean person. Like she's just
Hmm.
a mean ass person. And we got into, and I don't want to go into too much details, but we got into a conversation because that's what it was. And I said it from a kind place, got into a conversation about some stuff going on locally. And she goes, her ego was just massive. She goes, we need, and she married into this family. So let me be very
Mhm,
clear. So this family is a very prominent family in the place that I live. Like they've done a lot for business and stuff like that. But this
mhm,
person married into that family and just said some really mean ego driven stuff like, well, we just need to get this and show them that we're not some small fish and blah blah blah, and scare them, and just like totally ego driven. And it's hard
mhm.
to not give details, but I don't need to give details. I responded with, man, that's kind of comes from that, very Trump of you, is what I said that's very
Oh,
Trump of you. And she goes, well, I'm not a Trump supporter, but you wouldn't understand. You're beneath this.
whoa,
And
whoa,
I was taken aback. Like I was, what just
whoa.
that? Now this person does this to everybody. Like she's very high and mighty. She thinks that she's the world's most, anyways. Um
Mhm,
I walked away from that blown away. I'm actually never gonna attend that place anymore. Like I don't even want to see that person. It's just easier to walk away than to get involved. Because
mhm,
I can't go to her spouse who's a friend of mine and go, hey man, listen, your wife is a real cruel person. You just can't do that.
mhm,
You have to walk away from it all. You don't need to engage in it. You don't need to go down rabbit holes with how you're gonna deal with it, because it just doesn't serve you. But hearing that,
mhm,
like having somebody look at, I looked at this situation and I said, what did I say wrong? Because often I get defensive or whatever, and I say shit that I shouldn't say. So maybe I said something, and the Trump statement wasn't an offensive statement, so it couldn't have been that. I simply disagreed with this person, and they turned
mhm.
mean and nasty. What the hell is wrong with
That is
people
someone
today, man?
that is someone okay, so when you don't see eye to eye with someone, there's like, there's a couple scenarios that can happen, but if someone gets completely defensive and all shook up and a little bitter that you don't agree with them or what they're saying, that means that the person is usually so insecure that they can't even listen to someone else's idea and they won't.
Oh
So
god,
it's
yeah.
just, well, fuck you. You don't agree with me? Fuck off. How about that? You know what? You wouldn't get it. It's way over your head. You don't even understand. And that kind of shit is almost like you just described like the fucking GOP in my country. Like you just described them, this woman. Like, I'm glad you walked away.
It's, what else do you do? Like you can't. I feel like at this stage of the, listen, you go onto the internet, and your big thing, and I love it, is you smack at the trolls, and the trolls need to realize that Alex Scooby is one of the wittiest motherfuckers on this planet. So if you're going to put shit out there, he's going to come at you. But you also have to realize that Alex, and I could speak for him, Alex is doing it because it's entertaining as fuck, not because he's not going to sleep that night over the comment that you made. He doesn't give a fuck about the comment you made. He just wants to make you look like an idiot, which he does, and it's wonderful. But the real conflict that we have in our lives, the real things that are going on, the things that we control, you need to
Mhm.
walk away from, man. You can't do that shit anymore.
What is it? What's the old adage? Learn to pick your battles, man. Like, some
Hmm.
battles, some fights just fucking ain't worth it because they're just not.
They're not
you know,
worth it.
like you got to learn to pick your battles. You got to learn who you're gonna who like if and especially if it's a friend of yours, wife, right? How does that end? Like he's married to her, so how does that end?
Yeah,
For you,
it does. You just
because he ain't gonna pick you,
no, and he
right?
shouldn't.
So
And any human knows that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you take the time out of your day. And when you listen to us, you leave a review at the end of this, because the reviews are important for us to grow. And as Alex and I are getting ready to approach brands such as Trojan condoms and KY jelly, we need the
and
more,
back hair removal.
and back hair removal with Trojan condoms and KY jelly, which is a different story. But when you review us, it gives us more ammo to take to the condom companies to say, hey, we don't need
Yep.
to wear condoms anymore, but if we did, we'd
Mhm.
probably wear yours.
I'd wear your condom, Wayne. Awkward silence. So
Hey.
here's something interesting. Ooh,
Oh,
I farted when I was laughing.
I
I didn't
love
mean to
that.
do that.
That's a middle age thing. That's a middle age thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
a little pee comes out,
Yeah,
just like
then
a little drip of pee and a
soon you're
fart.
gonna start pooping, and then you're like, "Fuck, I'm way into my 50s now. I can't even trust my
Hon, can you
farts."
change my diaper? So, okay, here's something interesting. I put this out there today, this morning, because I was so appalled by it. I put it out on the socials. And here's something interesting. So, um, Donald Trump just buried his ex wife on his golf course in the state of New Jersey. And here's what's so fucking interesting about that. He essentially just turned his golf course into a cemetery. And what are cemeteries exempt from in the state of New Jersey? Property tax, all of it. So, once again, this scumbag
Fucking
is all about his money, his bullshit. Dude, I am just like, how the fuck does he keep getting away with this shit?
This is where see, I'm not involved in the politics down there, so when I hear shit like that, I'm like, that's fucking genius. Like,
This is just human.
no,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
understand. I'm like, especially your ex. If I could bury my ex-wife anywhere, like
I get it, man.
that's
I
and
get it.
I'm gonna leave it at that. If I could bury my ex-wife anywhere, where, like, where would you? I would bury it next to the tree. No, that's a hard one, but oh
It's just,
man,
it's funny. It's just like it's not shocking. Of course he fucking did it. It's not about love for his ex-wife. It ain't. It ain't about any of that. It's just his money and not having to pay taxes. It's just
my question, my question,
yeah.
my
Mhm.
question to you is if
Uh-huh.
there is like if when we die,
Yeah.
we get like we see all the shit from the top. Like we're watching down going, "Oh, look at ooh. I wonder what are you fucking kidding me? Your golf course?"
It's just like on your fucking golf course at the first tee? Like It's just so it's so appalling, and yet it's just like, of course he did that. Like, it's just
Oh
I don't know,
man.
man. So any Zen moments for you? Like anything Zen?
Nope.
I mean, you walked away.
Nope.
That's Zen.
Nope, no Zen moments. I'm you know what, man? I'm in this weird place in my life where there's a lot of change happening and there's some opportunity coming, but at the same
Yeah,
time I don't know like what direct because it's a whole fucking bunch of work. So I think I'm gonna have some Zen moments coming up soon. But right now, no, I'm just
yeah.
trucking along, man, just doing my thing. I do want to play a game with you.
I wanna play it. I want to.
So I'm just gonna throw you into this game.
Okay.
Random facts.
This is exciting.
Random facts. Did you know that when I was posted to the Navy, I had to sail with the Navy for 3 years on the Canadian warships. I used to
Mhm.
do a morning show every single morning, like the Good Morning Vietnam movie. And I would get up and I would go, I don't watch sports, but I would like go on the extremely slow internet and I would get like all the sports scores and I would go up and onto the bridge and I would do like a morning radio show with like, good morning, HMCS Winnipeg. And I would tell jokes
Oh,
and I would do all
nice.
that stuff. And when we go into foreign ports, like when we went into Okinawa, I played Domo Arigato, Mr. Roboto over the ship speakers. And
Domo,
we,
domo.
Domo, yeah, Domo
Yeah.
Arigato, Mr. Anyways, that's,
Uh,
I just thought, I don't know if you ever knew that. And I really wanted to tell you something random about me. And that is a random fact about Wayne. I used to have a morning show on a Navy ship.
okay, I don't know what the game was, but that's a great story.
The game was tell me a random fact.
Okay, no, that's actually impressive. I had no idea about that.
Boom.
I had no clue.
1 point
That's
Wayne.
amazing.
1 point Wayne. Alex, go.
Okay, here we go. So, here's an interesting story about me, a fact about me that you may not know. When I was living in Chicago, I was, doing theater, and there was a theater called the Merrill Ruskin Theater, which is a huge theater downtown Chicago. And I was so broke back then. like so broke, that I would scrounge change from wherever I could find it, and I would go to the French fry hut. Okay, there was an actual place that was just like basically French fries, and I would get a box of French fries for like I think it was like $2. And the best part about it is not only did they give you a bucket of French fries, but they put in 2 pieces of white bread. And I would load that up with ketchup, right? Just load the whole box of French fries and bread up with ketchup. And I would save it. So I'd eat some of it and then I'd put it away and then I'd eat some more later and then I'd put it away and maybe the next day for breakfast I'd have old French fries with disgusting old ketchup and maybe a quarter piece of white bread and just smack it. That's how I was eating basically when I was living in Chicago. Real quick, on top of that, there was a cafeteria at DePaul University, and I would go in there with no money, and I'd bring a backpack. And in the cafeteria, there'd be like a little Taco Bell stand. There'd be all this stuff, and I would walk up and I would look around. No one's looking. I'd take a bean and cheese burrito and I'd stick it in my backpack. And I'd walk over here and try to see no one's looking. Put a piece of pizza that's covered in like, a little tinfoil in my backpack and leave. One day, I'm doing that and I make eye contact with the cashier. This beautiful, bigger, black woman. She's just standing there, gorgeous human. And she looks at me and she sees what I do. And she goes, "Come here." I walk up. Fucking, I think I'm done. I'm like, this is it. I'm going to jail. I'm going to prison for this bean and cheese burrito. Walk up to her and she goes, "Honey, I know you've been doing that. And I'm not going to say a word. But next time you come in here, just walk up to the line and I'll let you slide." She goes, "Put it on a tray. You don't gotta thief it. Put it on a tray, walk up, and I'll pretend that I'm ringing you up and you just go." And I started crying. I started crying. I said, "Thank you so much. Thank you so much." And she did. And she fucking saved me. It's crazy, man.
That's super touching. And I will say two things to that.
Mhm,
Good things happen to good people,
mhm.
and that's why that happened to you. And now you're addicted to burritos.
That's exactly why I'm addicted to burritos.